Here in this review we will be looking at Preequell from Jason Fulton. We will take a look at the sales page and we will also have a walk around the members area, and I will show you some of the tools and the features of the product. And keep watching till the end of the video, as I will also be providing some helpful information and insights to give you an idea of how this product can be very misleading and why it may not be suitable for newbies or beginners. Hi, I'm Peter and welcome to the Hidden Online Living YouTube channel, and I'm quickly going to just break down this review into some key areas along with the upgrades and OTOs, and then I will finish up with my honest opinions. So we'll jump straight in, but before we do, if you are looking for an honest way to figure out how to get started online, check out the link below this video to find out more. Also be sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated with future content. And also feel free to share the video, as it does help to get videos like this out to more people that do need help when they're starting out online. Right, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of the sales page, and from the get-go here, as the product mentions, that you can start ethically brainwashing people into buying more from you, which that's, to be honest, straight off the bat, that's extremely misleading. So you can go through the whole list here of information as to what the product is supposed to provide for you. So I'm not going to keep you too long on this here, because essentially you'll be looking through the page anyway. So as you scroll down, you can have a look at some of the other features, and again comes down here to like prices and sales. But like I always mention in videos, don't trust these numbers here, because these here are either from other products that the vendors would be promoting or selling, or they're just random numbers that can be made up. They can be very easily manipulated, so don't take that as a given. I would not look into this at all. So again, just keep scrolling through if you are looking at it, and just take note of all the information that's here. Even check out here, you can see where there's some case studies and so forth, and here just gives you some more information. So as you scroll all the way down to the page, the one thing I will note is just to be wary of the money back guarantees that it mentions to you. So it says here, triple your money back if you experience any issues and we can't make things work. We'll give you 3 times your money back. In my opinion, don't believe that for a second, because a lot of products like these here, there's usually always some stipulation or something to say why they can't give you your money back. The chances are, if you buy into this here and you can't make it work, which is highly likely that you'll struggle to make it work. The problem with it is when you do go to claim your money back, the chances are you won't hear anything back from the vendor, or they'll try to prolong it, or they'll come up with some other excuse. It relies on technical issues that if the product isn't working for you, even though it doesn't state that here, but that's usually the way they run it. So I highly wouldn't regard this here as a full-on guarantee as such. So I would just be wary of that. But again, feel free to look through the sales page. I'll jump back into it at a later stage after I go through the dashboard, and we'll just go over some other features. So that's the next thing we're going to do. Right, so we're on the product dashboard here. So essentially, what is this software? Well, ideally you can use it to create likes of quizzes, so that you can build up a level of engagement with different followers and try to create some sort of unique responses based off what people are actually searching for. You can set up quizzes around different topics, even surveys and so forth, to try and get people involved in the platform. So you can do it through the dashboard here. The first thing I will say about this here, it looks nice and friendly in terms of the layout of the design of the dashboard, but it does look very simplistic. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot here that can really be used to create anything substantial. And based off my experience with looking at programs from similar vendors, a lot of these platforms, in terms of the layout of the tools, they're usually always the same kind of layouts and the same types of tools. There's nothing really different in terms of how everything is. But again, we'll just have a quick look and I'll just show you through it. So again, you're on the dashboard, you can come in here and you can create surveys. So again, these here are just a few load of ready-made surveys, and then once you have a campaign set up, so you can create a campaign here. So essentially you can upload images, you can set up different text variations, you can add buttons, and then you can set up a whole survey here. You can add questions, you can add a thank you page, design. It does actually have a lot of stuff here that you could actually use, in fairness, like. But whether or not you're going to really need it is another question. But again, a lot of it does seem to be very simplistic. So again, when you do have a campaign set up, You can literally just get traffic. Now there is a list of traffic sources that are here, and from a list here there's actually tons of social media avenues. Now to be honest, I didn't even know that there was this many. But can you actually use these? Well, yes and no, because like, yeah, you'll be able to post on these platforms, but the problem with it is, with the likes of most of these types of software, how will you actually get traffic if you don't have a following? If you don't actually have any following, none of these tools or even those platforms will really be any use to you. And there's so many of them there, we don't know if most of them even work or not. That's something just to really kind of take under advisement if you are considering looking into this. So again, you can check out, there's done for you funnels, and you've access to templates. So you can pretty much set out the structure of the surveys and the questionnaires. Similar to if you're just setting up a proper survey, you can usually use these done for you templates here. So it just kind of cuts back on the time and you can just edit it at your will. So you can also try it and have a look. There is some tutorials here. Right, so there is a list of tutorials here. Now they do actually work, they do actually show you how to use the software. But again, like I stress, even though you could go through all this here, could you actually get this to work? That remains to be seen. There's no real guarantees with something like this. So again, then you have upgrades, so they'll be for the OTOs and so forth. You'd need to actually buy into them. But we'll look at them now in a second. And then there's other bonus features and so forth. Here again, you'll have to look into these here, so you need to buy into these here as well. And then they have a support section as well. But again, I find with a lot of these platforms, the support sections are not the best, so you'll find it very hard to get any sort of feedback, or say if this program's going to be relevant, say in 2 or 3 months time, whether it'll still be usable. So if we take another quick look at the sales page, you can see here that you can use the software essentially to create like done for you quizzes and funnels, etc., literally to drive traffic and to literally just increase your engagement. And it states that you can activate the built-in traffic and just sit back and then just get paid, which is totally misleading. That won't actually happen at all. So it's just something to be aware of, but you can clearly see what it's actually trying to do here. But what you could do is you could look for some other alternatives. Like there are a load of other survey and quiz based development software and programs out there. Another good one that you could try out if you haven't already got it is the Thrive Quiz Builder within the Thrive Theme Suite. And usually if you're buying the whole package, you'll usually get a lot of these tools all included in it. So, and this here is more substantial and it's from a proven platform and trusted platform. So this here would be more recognizable and you'd have a lot more options than available to you in Preequell that you can use to develop more in-depth and more optimized quizzes and more engaged tests, etc. But again, just make sure when you're looking at the page just to fully read everything that's here and just to take it with a pinch of salt. And if it is something that you're considering, like, you can feel free to look at it at will. Like, it definitely does work. Like, the software definitely does actually what it says it's going to do. But again, how a beginner can actually use this to generate something is questionable because, like I mentioned earlier, if you don't actually have a following or social media following, there's no way that you can really make these platforms actually work. So it's just something to think about, especially if you're a newbie starting out. Alright, so we'll just quickly move on to the OTOs and upgrades. Now there's actually quite a few in this one. So for OTO 1, it's the unlimited version which unlocks pretty much everything within the platform and it's $37. And then it does give you supposedly premium support and extra bonus training. Then for the second OTO it's $197 and it gives you 20 done for you campaigns within the platform. So it's going to give you more opportunities to make more money or whatever it's pretty much promising you. Again, it's a bit expensive, but essentially that's what you'll get if you're paying into it, so they say. So again, for the third OTO, they'll pretty much do all the traffic work for you. So you send them your link and then they'll set up the traffic sources for you. So then moving on to the fourth OTO for $77. So it's Auto Profits Booster. So again, they'll go through the whole profit setup for you and set everything up, and pretty much similar thing with the fifth OTO for $67, which everything's on autopilot, so they will actually pretty much run everything for you. And then leading on to the last one for $197, it's a resell license, so you can literally sell the platform, all the OTOs, everything's, even upgrades, all as your own product. But again, it's quite expensive when you look at what's available, and can you actually make this work? That I actually can't say. I wouldn't be able to think too much about that, especially if you're a beginner, because yes, you could probably make some money from it, but there's no guarantees. So if we just, like I mentioned, just take this with a pinch of salt and just know that don't always believe what they promise you. So we'll just quickly finish up the video. I'm just going to give you my honest opinions. So essentially with the Preequell software, it does actually work, as shown in the overview of the dashboard, etc. You can set up campaigns. It does legitimately work to some degree. You can share it, but whether or not you can actually use it to drive traffic or to even make any money from it, yeah, you probably might make a few sales, but you will probably go through a lot of trial and error and headaches before you'll actually even get that far, and there's no guarantees that you'll get anything back from it really, so probably might not be a good idea. Again, it's similar to other products that are, like I mentioned, that are similar from vendors. They look very similar, and again, it's going back to knowing whether or not they're going to be really useful or not. Like again, it is cheap, it's cheerful, and for what you're paying, which is $10 to $15, you're pretty much just going to get what you pay for. But in my opinion, is it useful? No, it's actually not, because like I mentioned, like going on to the next step is there is better platforms out there, like I mentioned, even with the Thrive Teams quiz builder. There's loads of other platforms out there that would be able to allow you to develop full-on projects, businesses that will actually allow you to increase your engagement and actually get proper engagement and build up a following. That's not to say that this can't be done with this, but I would question some of the ways in which it's done. There's no real way of knowing if it will be a legitimate source or a way of building a business. In my opinion, I wouldn't recommend it. I would avoid it, because you could use your money to be better spent on something else that's more relevant to you, that you can actually use to develop a full and substantial business over time. But again, it's totally up to you. You can feel free to have a look at it if you want to see if it is something, but just be aware, if you're a newbie coming into it, it would definitely be best to be avoided, in my opinion. So that's this review for Preequell. So that's my overall views on the Preequell platform. So I hope you found this review to be helpful, and I really hope it's given you some ideas as to what you should look out for if you are looking into programs like these. And if you have found this review to be helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video, also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated with future content. And again, if you are looking for an honest way to get started in your own online business, make sure to check out the link below this video to find out more. Also be sure to check out some of the other videos here on the screen that will also show you some other reviews and helpful guides and tips that will also teach you ways of how you can develop your own online business and projects. And I will see you all in the next one.